And we're live. It worked. Woo-hoo. Hello, welcome everyone to the World of Warhammer. With us today, we're starting sort of a new series, talking to representatives from each of the states and territories and regions from Australia and New Zealand, heading into the ANZ Team Champs. With us today, we've got the trio of dreams, the beautiful ones. We've got Rowan. How you doing, buddy? Or maybe on screen is a bit of a different name.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? I'm Rowan, or Rowan K, or Rowan, whatever you want.
We got the man with the amazing stream setup right now. Dale, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, dude, I'm going to make it any day. Not too bad.
One day, my Twitch stream will make it. One day. And then, as well, Lord Commander himself, the High Marshal. I mean,
That's
what
me.
else do you want? Farsight himself. I don't know. Ewart, how you doing, buddy?
My claim to fame was the 2 weeks between Uprising and the next event in the world that was running Arcs of Omen, where I was the guard expert of the world for like 2 weeks. It was beautiful.
The only one.
Yeah, the only one with the Arcs of Omen result.
There we go. Hell yeah, baby. You've got that posted somewhere, right? You've got hold on to that forever.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. So this is a new series. So we're going to be talking to all the, I guess, captains and coaches and players from the various teams and states and regions, talking about basically what happened last year at the ANZ Team Champs, how they've been preparing, how they're getting ready, and then heading into this year's event and what's going to be happening. So before we get deep dive into the questions, we'll start going around the room. So Rowan, who are you? Like, for people who haven't heard of you, I know you've been on the 40K podcast before, talking about Tyranids, but like, how long have you been playing 40K for, and what's your sort of role in the team? Because I believe you've got a new position.
Yeah, cool. I've been playing 40K for, I don't know, like 2.5, 3 years, something like that. I was on the ACT team last year. Pretty cool, because I feel like that was like the, bit of a re-emergence of the ACT team. And this year I am lucky enough to be the captain for the team, which is a big honor. Super happy with that. I played lots of Tyranids, which is pretty cool. At least I think so. Obviously a bit rough time at the moment. Maybe I'll shake it up for ATC this year. I'm thinking either maybe like mono Nurgle demons or pure agents of the Imperium. I'm not sure yet. I'm going one of those two ways. I haven't figured it out yet. Definitely not.
It's only up, mate. It's only up from Tyranids.
I know, right? D tier. But yeah, like just been smashing Tyranids for like 2.5 years. Just loving it. Especially in the last couple of years, it's been a pretty good time.
Last year's pretty good.
It's been a pretty good time, which I think is actually it's kind of helped me like be a better player as well, having a fucking overpowered army. But yeah, that's about it.
Happy days. So yeah, newly crowned captain, so leading the ACT team to glory. And we got returning player to the ANZ TC team from ACT, Dale. So you joined. You weren't there last year, but you're here this year. So, but tell us, for people who have never heard of you, like, who are you? How long have you been playing 40K for? And then what do you normally play? I know you've played for T-Suns in the past. I know you played Eldar at Uprising. Like, play all over the shop.
I've been playing for, I don't know, 15 years or something now. I guess I'm old.
I want to say it would be like 2005.
It's at least 15 years.
2005, 2006. I think somewhere around there is when we started playing.
Yeah, 18 years. That sounds about right. Started playing with Ewart back in our hometown in Queensland, actually. And usually I was pretty known for playing Eldar, Dark Eldar, any kind of variety of Eldar, usually. But the last year, I kind of tried a few different things. I was playing some Thousand Suns. I was playing some Orcs for a while. And I've kind of come back home to play an Eldar again for the time being. So, yeah.
Happy days. Nothing wrong with the pointy ears, right? Nothing wrong at all.
No.
They're fantastic. And Lord Commander himself, Ewart, so back again for his third ANZTC. So, but explain to his beautiful listeners, what do you generally play? Obviously, Lord Commander might be hinting at something, but I know you've played some Tau in the past, and I know you used to play AOS, some random game system.
A little bits here and there. Originally, when I was going to start 40K, Guard was one of the ones I was looking at, but my brother decided to collect it instead, so I went for my Tau. And I was primarily Tau for the most of those 18 years I've been playing Warhammer. Only in the last maybe 8 years, I branched out to Space Wolves to play a combat army. There was like this other phase to the game that people kept talking about, so I tried it out. And now I've reverted back to Guard to do some more shooting phase, really. That's where the home is, just in the shooting phase.
Fantastic. Can we expect you to go into the psychic phase maybe one day, or that's like 10 years down the line at least?
Look, I've been trialing it with guard, but I don't know. It's not my cup of tea, really. The psychic phase is too much fail chance. That's the problem with it.
Yeah, gotta get those 6 to hit auto where just ignore those possibilities of failing. So
That's
happy
just honest
days.
40k.
Honest 40k indeed. That's what really matters. So obviously this last year you guys fielded the first time ever a full team of 8 ACT players, and looks like this year you're going to have fill another full team of 8 players. So what have been some of the lessons learned from last year? Obviously, Rowan is your first time attending ANZ TC. Dale, you're returning to your second one, obviously, but after a bit of a gap, and then Ewart, your third one. So maybe starting with you, Rowan. So how do you think you went sort of last year, and then what are you looking to do moving forward now heading into this year as captain?
I think last year was a lot of fun, though I don't think we necessarily prepared particularly well. I think we approached it a lot of teams is whatever. We kind of approached a lot of games just like, I'm just going to try and win, and hopefully it's a good matchup. Whereas I think in the last 12 months, a lot of the team have been to a few other teams' tournaments and actually figured out what we were supposed to do in terms of both preparation and how to build a list for teams. A few people have been interstate to a few other teams' tournaments. Our coach has been just to endless teams tournaments and prepared really well for that. So I think we're going to have a much better teams approach rather than just being like, hey, everyone just have a single game and see how it goes.
Fantastic. So have you had the chance to pull in a wider pool of players, or is it still sort of like a small community and sort of just still growing?
I think ACT community seems to be growing every year, at least from what I've seen. Whilst not everyone in the scene is up for traveling to Queensland for a week or half a week, we've got a really keen group of people that are, and also another half of the community that's happy just to help out, and some really, really experienced players who are willing to, train some of the newer players of the team and really bring a lot of experience into the wider sport, which is really awesome.
Yeah. So Dale, so obviously, when was the last time you attended a NZTC? So it was a couple of years ago, from my understanding. And how's that been, that transition?
It would have been 2012 or 13 or something like that.
I believe I still have the T-shirt. I believe it's 2012. I haven't looked at the T-shirt for a while.
So I got rid of it. I got sad.
It's still sitting in my closet somewhere.
Nice. What was the question?
How, from 2012, 2013 to now, has there been a big change, you feel, in how the team's environment's changed, or?
I think so. Yeah, I think. Well, there used to be very strict attacker defender roles back in the day. You would have lists that were very much solely designed to just lose and try to eke out maybe 3 points. And if you got 3 points, God, you're the MVP of the team, basically. And I don't think that's really the case in the current 40k format, Athlete Teams format. And I guess more broadly, not specifically teams related, but I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of differences between rules interpretations back in earlier editions between different states and things like that. And I feel like with the way information's more freely shared online now, that's not so much of an issue. Less feel bads moments and stuff like that. So it's good.
Having that core set of FAQs and clarifications.
Yeah, we all kind of agree, right?
Yeah, we have that sort of governing body, which is the WTC format we use for this team's event. There's an FAQ for literally every question, basically. And even if you don't agree to the ruling, at least it's a common ruling that you have to abide by per se. So
yeah, as long as we're all playing with the same understanding, it's great.
More than fair. So how did you think? So Rowan, you said we got the team of 8 last year. And mate, you would also comment on it as well. But did you guys sort of perform above expectations, below expectations, or how did you feel you went overall last year? Because we came, was it second last or last, or what was it? Can't remember what it was.
I think it was second last.
I think it was
second last.
Yeah. I think we had a really good start, and I think we maybe just a few individuals, definitely me included, kind of lost the plot on the second day. Which sucks, but I guess that's what you get with a bit more of an inexperienced team. But I think we also had a few showings where we showed that we got some really talented players on the team. A few of those matchups against the pretty strong BT states out there, we performed pretty well. So, yeah, I think we did well last year, but the only way is up, right? What do you think, Ewart?
Definitely the only way is up for it. I think we had some close matches with other teams last year, like surprisingly close. I think even New South Wales, we weren't that far off a draw, to be honest, which was impressive for us, I felt. Yeah, like I did set up my expectations super high, but I was pretty happy with how we went, and we had a lot of fun, and that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right? We had a lot of fun.
That's what matters. As long as you can enjoy it, like, this is a hobby and passion for us rather than a professional games or tournament. Like, obviously, you all want to do well. We all want to do our best, but it sounds like the philosophy behind it is to make a holiday out of it and enjoy the time up there for sure. I mean, going to Queensland, Sunshine State, got to enjoy some of the nice weather. I don't know Dale's skin will do well with it, but, you know, that's a different question.
Like as I walk off the plane.
Your microphone is having something happen to it, Dale. You have become admic.
Super robot, yeah.
I'm not sure Dale and I look forward to going back to Queensland, our home state. I'm glad it's later in the year and it's not like March or February or something. Because we'd just be dying inside a warehouse. We are pretty pale. So
most of us are pretty reflective.
Yeah, there's a reason I moved to Canberra.
Yeah, your mic's still a bit messed up there. I'm just unplug and plug it back in again. Maybe that might help. There you go. You got a little tech support, right? So how did you find the difference? So this will be your third time attending ANZTC. What was the differences between, like, I guess, your first one and the second one, and now maybe heading into the third one? Like, have you seen like much change between the three, or?
I'll build on to what Dale was saying a little bit. From what I remember about the 2012 one back in, I'll say it was 6th edition, because the way scoring works differently in a game, a lot of the time it's just being alive at the end of the game means you won a lot of the time. So most armies are either built to table your opponent and were built to be some sort of ridiculous skew to table your opponent, or the defender list was some sort of equally ridiculous skew to survive attacking ridiculous skew. Like ridiculous ally combined armies. Like I remember one of the defenders in our team was the 200 Typhus zombie army, which was ridiculous to see on the table. He had to even put stuff in reserve. Like he literally couldn't deploy all of his models and put things in reserve. It was insane. Like flyers back then were ridiculous. So there was like lists built around just a fly skew. I'm glad that's not really a thing anymore. Thank God. So back then it just felt all very massive skews. And if your list, if your team didn't understand that these skews existed and you didn't prepare for them, you were probably just going to like lose a 20-0 in that matchup at some point. That was crazy. The meta these days seems a lot more balanced, so we can have a more interesting like attacker defender as well as like the champion. Even though I've heard people use the term scrappers for team members and stuff like that, it seems a lot more intricate in the way we build armies. It's not just like you have to kill your opponent and wipe them off the table to win the game. That's all it is, sort of thing. So that's a lot better to me, a lot healthier.
What do you mean? It sounds like it was a healthy and fun meta back in 2012. Nothing wrong with the previous editions.
Dale has a great story to tell about his favorite game from that, which we won't go into, but let's say that one of the team's rules interpretations was very interesting, and it was allowed at that one, involving allying Space Marines and Necrons together. And Dale had a great game, let me tell you.
Happy days. Sounds like a fun old times. So, obviously last year, Rowan, this was your first ever 8-man team event, and you had like some small 4-mans heading into it. So, what was it your experience going to an 8-man event compared to, I guess, 4-mans, and what sort of learning experiences have you taken from it heading now into this year?
That's a good question. So like we've done a few, I think 4 and 5-man teams events before that, just with a few people from the team, which was kind of fun. It's a lot simpler 4 and 5-man teams. I think we probably started practicing pairings like, I don't know, a couple of nights before the event, and that kind of showed on the day, I think. I honestly think a couple of better pairing kind of strategies on the day, we could have come away with a few more wins, but lesson learned. but that was such a good thing to learn as well, is just how important the pairings are on the day, and how to not get too stressed out about it. It was really fun though, because I don't know, I'm kind of looking forward to this year, because last year I was put up into some matchups as the Tyranid player with this stupid overpowered army to go and kick someone to the side of the road. I'm kind of looking forward to going into some really kind of shit matchups and being like, oh, good luck, like, do what you can do. That'll be a lot of fun. So that's sort of kind of what I'm looking forward to this year.
There's a lot of pressure when you're that sort of attacker role, and
It
so
kind of is, yeah.
it must feel nicer to not have that expectation.
Yeah, and especially when like you've got that pressure to go into someone who's a fantastic player who is 100% not going to let you kick the shit out of them, and be like, oh, why didn't you score a 20? Oh, it's like, because he's better than me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this year, just having maybe different expectations and a different outcome, I think.
Yeah, a lot less pressure, as you was alluding to, and but like when you go for those 20-0s, like as that attacker player, generally the person knows it's a terrible matchup, and they all play completely different 40k, like non-interactive at all, and just score points sometimes. And like your role as attackers is try and still dig him out of those situations, and it's sometimes hard, and just they won't get there. Yeah,
and like touching on what I think both Dale and Ewart said earlier, the meta is kind of interesting. Like at least from a lot of what we've been doing recently, 20-0s are pretty rare these days, unless you're going to someone who's sort of a very different skill level.
So many armies just score so well, like consistently. It's really hard to stop them.
Yeah, and then there's other armies that are just so brutally killy or so durable that you can never get to the point of tabling and score all your points. So I think it's a pretty interesting meta. I know obviously there might be a data slate before the event, and that will change a few things. Probably nothing too drastic, but I think it's going to be a pretty interesting meta to have a 16 tournament.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, we're all fingers crossed. We're just waiting, refreshing Warhammer community, waiting for that data set to come out, right? Like, I mean, it's supposed to maybe be this week after Adepticon. It's after Easter. We'll wait and see. But how are you guys preparing? So obviously we know there's an impending data slate coming up. Does that change your preparations at all? Like, have you just got to figure out the pulse? Maybe like Dale, you can answer. Like, how have you sort of been heading into potentially a data slate and some changes to be made?
Just been kind of trying to keep an open mind, just trying to approach all of the different problems in the meta in different ways and seeing if I can find solutions to them, seeing if that's relevant to even play with my army selection, like into teams, or whether or not I just go, yeah, that's a bad matchup. I don't want to make allowances for it in my list. Just don't pair me into it, please. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much all we can do at the moment, and just make sure that you have an idea of what all your different options work well into, so that when things do change in the data slate, you can pretty effectively kind of pivot.
More than fair enough. So, so Dale obviously is a newer member to the team, but do you guys have any other new members that are returning, or new members that are coming to ANZTC? Rowan, like, is there some new people joining, first-time attendees, or have you got a full returning lineup?
Who have we got? We've got the three of us. We've got Joe Locke, who was part of the team last year. We've got Aaron Warren, part of the team last year. We've got Cody Howden, who was part of the team last year. Unfortunately, had COVID during the event, so wasn't able to make it. So it'll be his first time actually at the event, which he's really looking forward to. How many is that? That's a bunch. We've got Ashley Thompson, who she's a new member to the team. Kind of new member to the ACT scene as well. I know she's been around some pretty brutal scenes before. And she's just a killer. Like, I think the few of us that have played her have really felt the no mercy approach she brings to some games. And she's really knowledgeable about the game as well, across a broad number of factions. So she's a real asset. We've got on the team this year, and who's the 8th person on the team?
Lachlan.
Not you, Sam. Lachlan! Lachlan, how could I forget about Lachlan? He's going to kick the shit out of me. Lachlan's a mate of mine who we brought in, who's pretty new to the game. He's actually been playing for about the last year or so, but he's gone to a number of GTs and RTCs in the local area and in New South Wales. Been posting up some pretty good results considering he's only been playing for a really short period of time. But he's got a really good handle of a number of factions, and I think it's going to be really good, not just opportunity for him to play some great games, but develop himself for future years. I think he's going to become like a real pillar in the community out here. So I'm really keen to get him sort of unleashed on the Queensland players. Yeah.
Just
that's
feed him to the wolves, right?
And who's our coach? Anyone
Some
remember?
nobody. Absolutely nobody.
Yeah.
Don't
Somebody
worry
in
about it.
Queensland.
Yeah, I don't think it's a local. That's sure.
Can't have those. Can't have them.
No.
So obviously, it sounds like you got a bunch of newbies. So almost like half the team are newbies. It'll be a first-time 8-man event. So how do you sort of bring them on to the team, and like how are you coaching them up? So maybe you can answer like how you sort of trying to help teach, I guess, the newer players. Look, this is 8v8 teams. This is differential scoring, something different, and like what do you think has been the biggest learning curves for them?
I mean, we don't have many team events that are easy to get to, so it's hard to do team event practice in Australia. Definitely, like there's tabletop simulator events, and that's possibly something that every team is looking at, and we should probably look at more. But it's still, I'm not sure if you get the same feeling as you do like the physical pairings and stuff you do of an actual team event. I haven't been to a tabletop simulator one, so I'm not going to make final judgment, but there's a lot of pressure on the day when you're doing pairings for like an actual team event. So I get the way we've trained up the newbies, as we would say, even though they're definitely Warhammer veterans, is probably just putting them through what I call the gauntlet of the locals. So we have a lot of locals that are very good players, and we put a lot of our new people through that gauntlet. And if it breaks their spirit, they're probably not meant to play teams. But a lot of them have stayed strong, which is a good sign. Some of our players are relentless.
That's what we like to
any
hear.
names.
Just that sounds like some good old like heart. What was it like hazing? Almost like some college, typical stereotypical American hazing. Just got to go for the gauntlets and like just toxicity. Just go through the old
it's a hazing
players.
That's what we're about here, yeah.
Cannot confirm not to die. No. Yeah. So what have been some of the learnings for yourself, Dale? So obviously coming back into it all, learning teams again after a bit of a break. What have been like some like big concepts you've picked up since? Like obviously differential is one thing, but is there like I don't know, like more of a style or something different, or some other things that maybe like Ash and Lachlan have picked up along with you?
It's just kind of, as I'm building lists, thinking about how that might slot into the pairings process, and different list choices I make, and how that might affect how those pairings are going to be done. Whether there's kind of list building things that I can do that can like shore up certain matchups if they put certain armies forward as a defender, that kind of thing. And then if we can attack those really well, then that's really valuable. Even though I might be like losing some assets that are really good in another matchup. I don't know. That's been the main thing that I've been thinking about, and then just getting reps so that hopefully I don't screw it up on the day.
We all hope we don't screw it up on the day.
Hopefully.
Right? That'd be the worst. But look, it's a learning experience, and people make mistakes. Even veterans, they all make mistakes. So we have a question though in chat from Dale. So for the WTC, it seems the Aussies like to generally bring meta factions. So bring your typical list, but then skew it a little bit, like 400 points either way. So taking out some of the maybe obvious choices and putting something different to take into something. So maybe Rowan and Ewart can answer. Is this something we're trying to do, or you guys are trying to do with ACT, or is that you're just trying to like bring some more meta lists or trade secrets? Oh, you're Rowan.
What an idiot. I think a lot of our sort of lists at the moment, we've got a pretty good idea of, at least with the stronger factions, there's some obvious stuff to bring, right? Like there's a pretty solid core to a lot of the faction lists we're bringing. But one of the things I think we're leaning into, or at least making the most of, is having these players play armies that they've played for years and years and years and have such good experience with, and can maybe put their own personal spin on the list. You know, yeah, they've got the usual, you know, X, Y, and Z that makes up the core of that list, every list you see from that army. But then there's something weird going on that someone might look and be, what the fuck is that? Why are you bringing that? And then they'll realize at the end of the game, it's like, okay, yeah, I see what that is now, and I can't believe I've never seen that before. I think especially some of the cute little tech pieces in the list Ewart's currently running that you might think is, I have not even seen that in a list before. I don't know what that weird unit even does. And then it definitely does something. So without giving away too much. Yeah, so I think we're just doing some cute things with some strong factions. And then we're also doing
just valuing faction mastery over meta chasing to an extent,
Yeah.
but also doing that at the same time. So who knows?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
you
we're not
gotta
gonna
do that.
say, hey, we really want.
You got
this
to,
faction.
yeah.
We don't want to have. We must have this faction,
Mm.
and then put someone who might not be familiar with it. I think we want to have everyone with the faction they can play and are most comfortable with, and do something personal with.
And you got to focus on faction mastery when we do have that data slate around the corner. Like, you just can't rely on building a list tailored to like one specific thing, because you never know what's coming. Like, they might be lazy this time, but they also might just explode the meta again. Who knows?
For the last like 2 months of this meta, yeah.
2 months of chaos before 10th.
Yeah.
I thought it was truly well, just blow it all up, right, and change it all. So you allude there to faction mastery, but when you talk about faction mastery, do you sort of tailor to their play style as well? So if someone's generally a bit more defensive, do you sort of try and skew them to keep that way, or do you try and, if it's an army which can be or is currently playing the meta as quite attacking or aggressive, do you try and teach them to be that way? And have you tried to, if per se their personality and the way they play is more defensive and the faction doesn't align for that, do you try and get them to play something else, or what do you think?
It's changed a little bit. Like we've had a couple of players on the team who played a more defensive role last year. The factions either they played last year or the factions they're playing now have suddenly become this big disgusting hammer. So they've almost just been forced to learn this new style of play. And I think they've been doing that pretty well. Like we've had a few of our defenders from last year be given really strong attacker lists, and they just have been winning all their games by huge margins. And that's exactly what you want to see, right? Despite the fact they might have that old school defender, and like Dale was saying before, that really old school defender, which is I'm just going to try and score a point or two. To go from that to blowing games out, I think has been a big challenge for a few of them, but they've been doing really well, which is awesome to see.
It can be hard to adapt to teams, right? Because you play singles events, you're not wanting to do stuff that you don't have to do to win a game. You're happy to win a game by 3 points or whatever. It's totally different in teams. You have to be comfortable to take those risks and push as an attacker or whatever's required. So.
Yeah, and sometimes in the team's environment, you might be put into a scenario it's yellow, it's close game, I'll do what I can. Some members have gone down, they've lost their coin flips. Now you have to push, and you have to change a complete.
You just have to send it.
Yeah, just full send. Try and make those 11 charges sometimes, and go for those more aggressive and egregious plays, because what's the point in losing the round by a point or two when you can try and win it or draw it? So
that's
definitely
the advice
something to
we've
learn
had from our coach. Always go for 11 charge. Yeah.
I heard that guy just says full send all the time. We want 160 points and nothing else.
Yeah.
Too good.
I will say quickly, just adding on to Dale's question, Dale Summer, not Dale here. Last year, there were several lists when the lists were revealed. The ones that I think caught us off guard were the ones with a little bit different. They had some flavor to them, but they weren't the meta list. It was Chaos Space Marines, but a little bit different, or Death Guard, and it's a little bit different. And I remember those lists caught us off guards when we did our ratings for lists, because we had locals that were veterans of those armies who were trying to ask for advice and what does this list do? But sometimes they just don't know. Sometimes it is just a weird thing, and sometimes even your local expert is I don't really know how this is supposed to win a game, but they definitely submitted it, so it does something. And
I remember trying to give you a practice game using Liam's Thousand Suns list, and me just trying to figure out how the shit that thing worked.
Yeah. And we decided it was terrifying. And we were well, let's not.
I loved it.
That, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Seeing the tower list with hazard suits but no drones. I don't know what happened there, but
yeah.
Too good.
What did I wonder?
Too funny. So obviously Canberra, from the sounds of it, has a bit of a small community but a tight community. How are people selected for the team, and how do they get the chance to potentially be involved? Maybe Rowan, you could talk about how the process is.
Yeah, sure. We had I guess there's a bit of a committee of sorts in the ACT of I guess more experienced members who put out this application to anyone who's interested. And at the same time, we had the team selectors, people who we knew were keen for the team and had the experience to sort of lock in their own positions on the team. And between that committee, we sort of just went through all the applicants. We actually had quite a large number. I think we're pretty happy with the amount of people that were keen. And there are a few people who we thought, yeah, we'd love to have these people on the team. Their sort of expertise and talent would be so invaluable. And then there's some people we think, let's try these people out because they might, be the kind of thing where they might not make it this year, but then next year they're going to be a real chance. And unfortunately, when we find out that we're going to have to go to Queensland, a number of people just can't make that. Like some people can't set aside that amount of time on specific dates, and that unfortunately cut our pool down by a little bit. I'm sure if we had the absolutely most lethal team we could pull together from the ACT, we'd be a horrifying team to go up against. But real life things happen. So yeah, I think we were able to get a lot of people that maybe we wouldn't have originally known were even keen because they put an application in and we gave them a shot.
Yeah, fantastic. Because I understand you're a part of that selection committee. What was it you're trying to look at for in players? Were you trying to look for just experience, or were you trying to look for potential, or like certain roles or factions? Like, what were some of the decisions made in selecting the people that made the team?
We pulled together this cool matrix which had all the people we were interested in who applied, and then all the factions they could play. And we realized that across, I think, our top 8 choices, we had every single faction covered, maybe minus one. And it turns out that ended up being covered anyway. So that was kind of number one. We're like, well, no matter, if this is our preference here and these people are keen, no matter what the meta looks like, we've got talent and we've got experience. And after that, it was just a matter of actually having a sit down with them and saying, hey, this is what it's actually going to look like. We're going to be going up to Queensland for 4 or 5 days. This is what the build-up's going to look like. It's going to take a fair bit of work and a lot of drive, like individual drive, to actually go out and get those games in and think about what you want to bring to the team. And then once we ticked those boxes and people said, yeah, we're keen, it all fell together pretty quickly. We had a few sort of ups and downs along the way, a few people who were keen and then weren't so keen. And but we've got like I said, a good little tight community here, and we managed to fill those gaps.
Yeah, fantastic. And I understand that you had some people unfortunately had to drop, but were part of the initial playing team, then due to life and various circumstances had to drop, and so you've had to reach out for other applicants. But it sounds like you've got a full pool and 8 ACT players, which is just fantastic. So
yeah, that's the dream. We really wanted to get that team of ACT players, not be forced to bring someone else in, which obviously if we had to, we would have really appreciated that. But it's cool just having people you see down at the local store every week as part of the team, which I think is part of what makes it fun to play games with these people. Is we're all a fairly relaxed, friendly community.
Yep.
Absolutely. So heading into the event, so what are some of the armies or factions you're expecting? So obviously, Arcs of Omen, relatively solved at this stage, obviously pending the data slate. What are some of the armies maybe you'd expect? Maybe Dale, then you can answer. Like, what are you sort of expecting to see there? And then, what do you think some teams will bring?
Probably some IG, probably some Custodes at the moment. Those kind of armies that I see are pretty safe. Marines, which flavor of Marines could be undecided. I mean, there's a lot of great choices there. Those are the 3 that I feel pretty solid about. Most teams probably using to some extent. And then from there, it's really just... Yeah, World Eaters for sure.
I think that's on every team.
Yeah.
Your favorite faction right now?
Love them. Yeah, love the secondaries. It's good.
Like there's still factions that make a good appearance in teams. Like Custodes are still pretty popular in teams. Both flavors of Knights still seems to be making appearance in teams, even though they're not necessarily good in singles. Like anything can happen in teams.
It changes completely when you get to pick matchups to a certain extent, or manipulate matchups. Yeah,
and manipulate tables as well, right? It can change so much. I can't think of any faction that I would be surprised to see. Maybe Death Guard, maybe Thousand Suns, because they haven't been seen.
Death Guard would surprise me. Thousand Suns I could see, but
yeah, maybe regular Chaos Space Marines would be a little bit weird to see, because World Eaters is sort of taking that spotlight a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but never know. I guess it's teams. We have our ones we definitely expect to see, and then there's could be anything.
Yeah,
and I think something that Dale Summoner said in that comment earlier, the Australian like the WTC Australia brought some weird and wacky lists, and I think a lot of players in Australia will bring that same like ethic to their list building for this. There's going to be some weird shit. I'm expecting some weird factions, some weird looking lists.
Yeah.
Yeah. For what I understand, so obviously you talked about in Canberra you have some faction masters, but sometimes those factions they're not doing or performing as well as you hoped in the meta. But those players are such diehards; they love that faction, they just want to play it. How do you sort of evaluate and judge that person playing the faction if it maybe not be as well versus something that's a bit stronger, but they don't have as many reps on? Like, what's your mentality or sentiment between, I guess, getting that player to potentially switch or stay in the faction? Maybe Rowan, you can answer. Like, obviously talking to so many players, I'm sure there's been some factions which maybe don't make the chopping block or could make the chopping block.
I think we just we just sort of, if they've got something in mind they want to play, see what it looks like, see how it goes on the table, and if they've got a cool idea that doesn't work out, all right, maybe it's not going to work out. But yeah, we've been really valuing that, like we said, that faction experience and mastery. Like, someone might be able to do well with a lower tier army in the current meta. They might be able to do better than that than they would with learning a new army in 2 months. So I think that's sort of the way we're taking it. And again, it's teams. You can just, if you can manipulate the pairings to be beneficial for your list, then I don't think there are many factions other than maybe Death Guard and T-Suns. I think that would be a weak faction.
Yeah, people hating on the T-Suns.
The other one I thought of while we're talking was Votan. I would not take Votan to teams. That's just my opinion, but I've never seen that faction do too well across the table for me. So I would be surprised seeing Votan.
Faction does do well across the table for me. Yeah, just real quick.
Look, nothing really. No, World Leaders is the answer. World Leaders is the answer for that. Look, and another Australian team is welcome to bring Votan, and I'll be interested to see how that goes.
Laying down the
ground. Yeah, prove me wrong, Australian Votan players. Prove me wrong.
We'll put you into you.
Up to you. They'll tech for you and get you ready. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Bring it.
So you mentioned it before, Ashley Thompson. So someone who's been, I guess, profound on the TTS scene, but has decided to come out and play, I guess, an in real life event. What has like her influence or learnings been joining the team, and has she been able to get away from the mouse and keyboard and play with actual in real life models, or still working it all out?
Yeah, we've had her in person quite a few times now, which is good. She's a really good player and has so much teams experience. It's kind of pretty overwhelming. I think she brings some really good intel to the team, as well as experience with a number of factions. If anything, it's just been good having her as a conversation on everyone's list they've been putting forward. She always has something to say or some constructive feedback or some shit talking about the terrible choices you've made, which I think is always good to have someone there to have that. I think it was a little bit of convincing to get her on the team, which I totally get because, playing in TTS as opposed to traveling to another state and playing for 2 days, it's a big difference. But no, super happy to have her on board, even if just as an advisor, let alone a player. We're really lucky. Don't know what you guys think, Dale. You?
Yeah, 100% agree. It's been good to have somebody else that's also very across like a lot of different factions, which I think that's something that she brings. And she can kind of challenge some of our assumptions that we're bringing to Discord and stuff after our games, and we're talking about what we're thinking with lists and matchups and stuff like that. And she kind of has very valid opinions on a lot of that, which can help make sure that we're on the right track.
Yeah. And sometimes you're just like, hey, I want to see what my list does into this. And she's like, oh, I can play that. Let's have a TTS game.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I don't need to find that person. She's just ready to go. So that's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, look, she shuts down some of my insane ideas, which is probably for the best, really. But I enjoy playing against her, and she knows her rules very well, which is very nice. And I like playing against her because then she points out things that I might be doing wrong with my army, even though I've been playing it for
you
quite
might
a
have been
while.
doing wrong for a number of months as well. I'm like, oh, I've been doing that wrong. Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's really good at picking up on those things. So just making sure we're playing exactly to the rules, which is nice.
It's funny. It happens to the best of us. Like even factions and specialists who've been playing for 2 years, they get stuff wrong. And I was playing a TTS game this morning, and Ash was watching, and literally like as soon as it happens, like you can't do that. You have to be at the start or not during. And it's like, oh, well, this person's been a faction specialist for like 2-3 years and should have known these strats. But look, it happens. It happens to the best of people. So heading into 2023, so we've got a big lineup. So North and South New Zealand are joining. There's a Queensland Mercs team replacing the New South Wales Mercs. So absolutely much better lineup, obviously, because New South Wales is New South Wales. I'm kidding. We love those guys. But who is some of your expectations for the podium? So who do you think some of the top runners will be heading in? Like any predictions other than ACT, obviously, because not biased at all.
It's hard to say who's coming second and third. Hey.
I think we beat them so badly they just leave, right? Like they just continue first round. I don't know. Like,
I'd probably say Queensland's a front runner, right? They've always had a really strong community up there. I'd love to see a bit of rivalry between the Queenslanders and the Queensland Merc team. Get some state on state fighting between each other. It'd be good.
Be keen to see like what New Zealand brings. Like I don't know what's the New Zealand meta look like. This is not something you really hear about. I reckon they'll have some pretty cool ideas. So yeah, keen to see what they bring. There'll be some fun games there, I think.
Maybe they'll bring the Votan and do well with it. Maybe it takes outside of Australia sort of group of people to do it. Yeah. I want Western Australia to take the podium this year. I think they were second last year, and they were really hungry for it. So I want to see them make the trip and get the gold. If we don't get it, of course, the second preference. Yeah.
Oh, of course. You guys got to be on top podium. But where do you guys think you'll sort of end? So obviously, bottom of the pack last year. Obviously, take another year to develop and improve. Where are you hoping to sort of finish this year? Other than first, like what's some other expectations? Was that just
right?
all the first? Just only first?
Yeah. It's not first. We're going home. Okay. No, I don't know. I think we are targeting to do better than last year, and I think we have we're doing the right things in terms of preparing for that. We've got the right mindset. We've got a better approach to our list and a better approach to pairings, and all that's going to come together. We're going to do pretty well. I think our team feels really good. Some really smart players on the team. Looking forward to seeing how it all pans out. Not me.
Sounds fun.
I'm a fucking idiot. But...
Yeah, not me. I don't know. Just leaves you.
Someone on the team.
We're actually just going to get Ashley to play all 8 games.
Yeah, that's the plan.
yeah.
She's going to have like a little mic, and we're going to have earpieces, and she's going to play all of them. Look, the real moral victory will be beating New South Wales this year. That's what we're really in for.
Well, we had Josh McMillan in the comments before, so the captain of the New South Wales team. So New South Wales versus ACT round 1. So what's this rivalry?
Look,
like what
can,
is
can
this?
we?
Like...
Can you grudge another state or territory at ANZ TC? Why not?
There's got to be the attempt, right? I mean,
they got to
there's no official rules.
Yeah.
It's a bit unfair if we grudge New South Wales just getting a win first round.
Yeah, it's true. Automatically. Win first round is kind of unfair on the rest of the
yeah.
That's true.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, they keep talking about this stacked team. I haven't seen it. I don't know what they're talking about.
But what's this rivalry like? For people who aren't aware, like I understand there's been some memes thrown out, like you talking smack about their coach, Ewart. I mean, just disregarding some Imperial Guard players. Like, what is going on with these memes and jokes?
Well, you're muted.
That's a good start.
My mistake. We just know that we're better than them, really. And look, they only just got in the correct government in their state. We've been at it for a long time. So it. All right. We'll step back from politics. No, we just know that we're much better players and much more handsome, attractive people as well, generally from Canberra. And so we're really looking to assert the dominance. And eventually we'll just take all their territory in land as well. We've already got...
we took some last year, didn't we?
Yeah, we took a little bit of territory from New South Wales last year. We've got a port. So we took some coast from them many years ago, and eventually we just expect to take most of their land. Really,
the days are numbered.
Yeah, it's true.
I hear people call Sydney North Gungahlin, which is just
Oh, they can keep Sydney.
Like, there's not much difference between Queanbeyan and Sydney. For those of you who know what Queanbeyan is, it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a silly place. That's all we know. But can we expect maybe? Obviously, last year it sounds like there was a bunch of memes, a bunch of jokes thrown out. But can we expect some more memes and jokes happening? I mean, it sounds like you guys are the fellowship this year. I mean, you were some other conglomeration of sorts last year. What was the memes that could be on the table you expect? Any insight on what may be happening?
I think it's probably safe to say that we're going to be loud, talk a lot of shit, and probably not back it up.
That's our team ethic.
That's our team motto, yeah.
Probably fuck it up on the day.
Yeah, maybe.
So look, Sam, we might accidentally spill what armies we're playing, but we definitely won't spill the sort of meme content that's got coming up. That's us most guarded secrets.
That's locked up.
Yeah.
That's real.
We've got agents around the world working on these sorts of memes and
European agents
content. Yeah. Primarily. You don't know where they're going to come from, what time zone, what language. You don't know. They're just going to show up.
I understand though that what your coach in last year, Jack Lavercombe, has joined the traitor side, the dark side in your team as well. So, what words are you going to say to him? Obviously, you might be facing him across the table. Like, what's going to be said to him? Obviously, a trusted fellow from last year, now joining the other side. What's going to happen?
Looking forward to the word between him and Josh when he realizes he was on our team the entire time.
Yeah, it's a redemption arc, really. He's always been a big fan of those sort of anime stories where there's the character that turns evil, but he comes back around to the good side. And this is just his redemption arc, really. That's what's happening here.
Yeah.
Too good. Oh, you go, Ewart?
I was going to say he'll miss the share house that he was in last year when we went up for the event. He'll miss what he had in that house.
Too good. That's all the questions we have. Before we close things up, is there any final shout outs or plugs you want to say, or any final words before wrap things up? Rowan, maybe start with you.
Just super happy with the team we've got. Super happy to be the captain of the team, and I think I'm just super pumped. It's gonna be a really fun comp. So just great weekend with the guys and girls, and just I think a lot of people think ACT is just a bit of a newer team. I don't really know what we're doing. I'm looking forward to our players letting people know where we're from and the kind of fire we bring to the table. It's gonna be fun.
Fantastic. Dale, any final words?
Just a shout out to all the local players that aren't on the team but have been helping us get reps into various different armies and stuff like that. Just get that experience. It's been good. They've had to put up with us playing some pretty filthy lists, which can be a bit tiresome sometimes, but no, they've been really helpful. So,
yeah, I understand playing on terrain that is not jolt terrain, so a bit different, a bit more dense than what you're used to. So I'm sure.
Yeah, I walk around with my box of terrain everywhere and set it up.
Too good. You any final words or shout outs?
Just to echoing what Dale's saying, a lot of our local guys, just thanks so much for helping us with practice. It's all the team itself has a lot of support staff around it as well. And so they also put effort in. Although they don't have, like I said, they've got too much real life responsibilities, they can't make the trip to the actual event. But back here in Canberra, they're still doing lots to help us, and we appreciate it.
Fantastic. And it looks like WA has figured it out. They found a secret weapon for this year. So heading in, and it's going to be drones. So fantastic. Glad they found their drones this year. So hopefully they pay for them, but we'll wait and see. So,
all right. So Tau drones, blight drones, plague drones. It's an interesting meta choice here we've got going on. I can see it.
Maybe it's what was it? The whole thing in the US, was it a weather balloon? Maybe it's those sort of drones that attack, those weather balloons and stuff like that. Yeah, they got some secret tech.
Yeah, Biden's going to shoot them down.
Too good. Thank you all of you for joining tonight and giving us a little bit of insight into ACT 40K. Best of luck at the event, and we'll see you there. And until next time, so next Wednesday we're chatting to the South Australia lads with Mark and some of the Yabby hunters. So see what happens there, and if we can get through a full episode before.
Can we request they don't yell out Yabby hunters really loudly on the stream?
Oh, they're going to.
It's definitely not the favourite part of Adelaide.
Stop gaming that culture. Yeah, that's all they've got.
It is all they've got, isn't it?
That is some strong sentiment. We'll see what happens.
It's the glue that keeps their team together, but gosh darn, I hate that glue.
Do you know how much they love glue down there?
There is an alternative to the Wah Ewart, though. Like the Wah that brings the energy and gives them all together. It's Yabbies.
Would a Wah be better? I don't know. Can they just not do either? Is that possible?
What's it going to take you? Is there going to be like a bet on the line? Like, what if you guys beat South Australia? Do they have to give up saying Yabbies for like a couple of times, or if they beat you guys, will you give out a Yabbies? Is there maybe a bet we can make?
Look, I wouldn't want to take something they cherish so much away from them. I just wish they could give me some warnings, like put some noise cancelling headphones or something. Just give me a little bit of warning, please.
Oh, well, I'll be sure to give you a heads up. But I mean, they definitely probably won't need that. I'm sure I'll back you guys a bit. South Australia, no bias at all. No bias at all. Don't pay attention to the season.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks to you for joining. I really appreciate it. And talk to you all next time. Have a good one. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks.